Hello everyone, this is a review on the Greenwork lithium-ion 40-volt rechargeable mower. As you can see right here, it's a rechargeable mower that uses these large 40-volt 4-ampere-hour lithium-ion batteries that slide in, and it gives you a pretty good amount of cutting power. So we're going to see how it works, how the things charge, how it adjusts, and see if this is maybe the right lawnmower for you. So it works pretty well, and again, we're going to look at it and see if this is something that might be of a value to you. Okay, so how does the mower work? Well, let's try first just installing the battery. So you have a little hatch here that you can lift up, and you have a key. Now, the key is kind of odd because it's removable, but it really doesn't need to. So you don't want to lose it, so I actually just keep mine right in the mower. You then slide the battery in, which is easy enough. You follow the groove right here so that the battery slides in and you're ready to go. Now this model comes with 2 batteries. Others may only come with 1, so kind of keep that in mind. Now this battery here is a 4-ampere-hour. Now the Greenwork makes a variety of batteries. This one came with 2 4-ampere-hour 40-volt batteries. One of the nice things is you can push it. You may not be able to see it in the sun, but there's a little indicator bar here to show you how much power you have. Now we're going to start it and see how it actually works and performs. Okay, one of the questions you may be asking is, why do I have a rechargeable mower? And it's for my yard. As you can see, I've got a lot of little nooks and crannies throughout that my riding lawnmower doesn't work real well on. So I'm trying to minimize how much weed whacking I have to do. And the 19-inch blade, or 19-inch deck, really helps me do that. It's a lightweight mower, it's quiet, and it's easy to use. So again, you start it up. You start it up. Very quiet, and you can see that the grass Okay, so here I'm going to start the mower and just watch. Push the button, pull the handle. Just like that, the mower's open. Okay, so you saw an operation. You can see that the grass isn't that high, and if it does get much higher, and especially in thicker areas, it does have a tendency to want to bog down a little bit, especially just doing a mulching mode like I have now. Now, it's not that big of a deal, but if you're going to do a large yard with lots of grass, it's real heavy. If you don't mow it consistently, you might have a problem with it being a little too thick to mow. So keep that in mind. I don't find it to be a problem, but what I like it for is being able to mow along my fence and around trees without having to pull out my trimmer or my weed whacker. So that's a pretty big value to me. So from my standpoint, it works perfectly for being able to do kind of keeping my trimming kind of to a minimum. Okay, another advantage of the Greenwork 40-volt mower is that you can fold the handle down. So just lift it here and here. And you've got easy storage. So it actually takes up quite a bit less space in my garage than a traditional mower. Okay, there are a variety of different options you have for the mower. Obviously right here we have it set up as a side discharge. And this will give you maximum power for mowing. So you take right out on the side. However, you can also adjust it for other things too. So you can make sure obviously the mower is off. Lift, remove, and then once again, take it, hold just like this, lift up, and there's a little clips in here that you sit the bag onto, like such. And now you have a bagging mower. Alright, now if you don't want a bag, if you're a mulcher, simply remove the bag. And put in the mulching attachment, which just slides right in to the mower itself. So I won't actually put it in, but you can see that you can actually put the plug in right there, and then you can mulch. Now, one of the things about the bag is that it is relatively small. It's a relatively small mower, so you do get a smaller bag. So if you're trying to do a lot of bagging for your clippings, you're going to be emptying this out a few times. Not that big of a deal, but do keep that in mind. Next, we're going to show you some of the other attachments that you can use your Greenwork 40-volt batteries for. Okay, in addition to the lawnmower, these 40-volt 4-amp batteries will also fit nicely into the Greenworks hedge trimmer, which are nice because they rotate, so you can trim both ways, vertical and horizontal. And again, since it is battery operated, you don't have to worry about cords, and they're lighter than gas power with pretty good power. And then of course the weed whacker itself, which the hedge trimmer, which is nice because it also, you might be able to see this, has a rotating head that allows you to both trim and edge your yard, so you can go along your sidewalks just by rolling it on that wheel there. So both of these you can swap out your 40-volt battery with, and you're ready to go. So that's another advantage to the Greenworks system. Okay, my final verdict on the Greenworks lithium-ion 40-volt 19-inch lawnmower, I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I'm going to take a half point off because the handle here has already started to rip, and I really have only had this for less than a month, so a little disappointed that the foam here is already starting to rip. Not a big deal, but it is something that I wish didn't happen. And second, at times it is a little underpowered, so keep that in mind if you're trying to roll through heavy grass. You might not be able to use a mulching or the bagging option. You might have to do go straight with side discharge. You can see here also a couple other points I haven't made. You've got 6 settings for height. The batteries will last probably about 20 minutes to a half hour for mowing, and then it takes about 3 hours to fully charge. Now, one of the things that's recommended is that you don't store the batteries long term in the fully charged or fully depleted stage. So when you remember the indicator, try to leave it at 2 or 3 lights and then store it for winter like that. The frame itself is metal, so you're not dealing with a plastic frame there. So there are quite a few things to like. Now, I do have some worries about if I need it serviced long term. Trying to find a Greenworks dealer might be kind of difficult, but for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. And in terms of operation, it is electric, so the only real worry is the battery. I like the fact that the batteries pop out and go into other tools easily, and again, there's a lot of flexibility in the overall design. So I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. I wish it had a little bit more power, but other than that, it's a pretty good mower, and it served me well so far. Hello everyone, this is a review on the Greenworks lithium-ion 40-volt rechargeable mower. As you can see right here, it's a rechargeable mower that uses these large 40-volt 4-ampere-hour lithium-ion batteries that slide in, and it gives you a pretty good amount of cutting power. So we're going to see how it works, how the things charge, how it adjusts, and see if this is maybe the right lawnmower for you. So it works pretty well, and again, we're going to look at it and see if this is something that might be of a value to you. Okay, so how does the mower work? Well, let's try first just installing the battery. So you have a little hatch here that you can lift up, and you have a key. Now, the key is kind of odd because it's removable, but it really doesn't need to. So you don't want to